As I alluded to when I was showing you all how to manually build swatches in the swatch panel by using the new color swatch pull down menu, you can also click on the add swatch pull down menu as well. I alluded to the ability to use this really cool tool here, which is the eyedropper tool, to sample colors. Now I have this really great image right here. It's got a lot of great colors in it. Wouldn't it be great if I could apply some of these same colors to elements within my file that matched the colors that are in this image? So I have right here this heading, subheading going on. Right now, I have the container itself filled with white. If I wanted to change the color of this text container to a color that I see here in this placed image, I'm going to grab the eyedropper, and right now the eyedropper is empty. If I click on any of these colors, you'll notice it kind of sucks that color up into the eyedropper, kind of like a turkey baster would. But it also changes the fill color for my swatches in my swatch panel. And that's because I had fill color brought to the front. If I wanted to apply stroke color to this container, I would click on stroke color and use the same effect. Now, let's say this wasn't quite the right color I wanted. I can option click anywhere on this image, and each time I option click and I click on a slightly different color in the image, it will change the color uh, of what I'm applying with the eyedropper. Then, if I like to, if I like this swatch enough, I can just drag and drop it down below into my swatch panel, which will enable me to keep using this swatch for other elements within my layout. I am going to double check though and make sure that all the visual feedback I'm getting for the swatch that I've created with my eyedropper in my swatch panel is in CMYK, that it's matching the color model of everything else in the image. And I'm looking at this little CMYK triangle square thing here too, just to make sure that this swatch that's created for me is CMYK. If you sample an image and it gives you an RGB color because maybe you've placed an RGB image accidentally and tried sampling from that, you can always double click on that swatch in your swatch panel and make sure that it's in the correct process color, CMYK, and that it's giving you CMYK values for that swatch. One other thing I wanted to point out to you guys is in your swatch panel, when you are applying swatches to things like a container for text, right? I can still highlight this text and change it and apply it. You have two buttons in your swatch panel that allow you to apply color to this object. And that's because it is a text frame. I can apply fills and stroke colors to, and I'm just going to make this stroke thick on this container so you guys can see it. I can apply fills and strokes to the container itself, or I can not apply fills and strokes to the container, and instead there is a little T in your swatch panel whenever you are trying to apply fills and strokes to a text frame. You can click on the T and the stroke, right, and fill colors that you are applying then are to the text within the text frame and not the actual frame. Regular objects, you don't have this dilemma, right? As a matter of fact, the T is grayed out because I don't have a text frame selected here. So I can change the fill color and I can change the stroke color, right, of this object here. I'll click on preview mode here so you can kind of see the stroke color and the fill color that I have applied here to this object. It will not let me click on the T because it is not a text frame. This here is a text frame though, so I can change the text, fill, and stroke as well as the containers fill and or stroke and fill colors. So keep those things in mind as you're applying fills and strokes to text, but also fills and strokes to the container that the text is within. Also, yeah, pretty cool eyedropper feature there for using a placed image that's in a correct color model in order to sample colors and add them to your swatch panel.